The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters was originally broadcast on November 18th, 2025.
Welcome to Business Matters, brought to you by the Maui Chamber of Commerce. And now here's your host for the show, the president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, Pam Tumpop. Good morning, Pam. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Gary. I am absolutely excellent this morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine, too. It's a nice, cool day. Maybe some more rain this week.
We are praying for rain.
Yes. Even though it rained every day at my house last week, it's still dry out there.
Yeah, no, I tell you, we still need more rain. I mean, it came, and we had a blessing at least a blessing for me over the weekend. I was out in Kaupo, and it was a beautiful sunny day out in Kaupo over the weekend, but we need the rain. So, yeah, looking forward to more rain this week.
Yay.
And how's your new puppy?
Oh, he's a little terrorist. You know, he's running the house already. He just lets us live there.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yes, it is. She's real fun.
Yeah, as a 4-dog household, we well understand that.
Yes.
Especially in the beginning. They mellow out, but it takes a while. I love that. Well, thank you for all that you do to promote this show. We're always so thrilled to work with you and have you assisting us with Business Matters. It's fantastic.
My pleasure.
We cherish it. Oh, thank you, Gary. Well, folks, we're glad to have you join us as well. Today we are going to talk to a returning guest, longtime friend, Joe Pluta of the West Maui Taxpayers Association, for an update on what we call it WMTA, for West Maui Taxpayers Association, what they're up to, and learn about many different issues that are topical right now in our community, as well as their views on Lahaina's recovery. And then we're going to talk to Dr. Sonia Gupta, a Maui dentist who has created a unique line of dental products to protect our teeth and our oral health. So we're going to learn more about that. And I'll share a brief notice later on about the services tomorrow for Council Member Tasha Kama. So let me just share a little bit about Joe Pluta. If you don't know, his full name is Joseph, but he goes by Joe. He is the owner and principal broker for his own real estate company. He's been a licensed real estate broker in Hawaii since 1972. He has sold millions of dollars in property over the years. But he graduated from the University of Hawaii with a BBA in the travel industry management and real estate. His 30 years in real estate and travel industry in Hawaii have been devoted to a myriad of diversified positions, from the ground floor up in restaurants, hotels, and condominium hotels. He is originally from Chicago, and his parents had a family restaurant and bar business. So he grew up in that industry and then came to Hawaii in the submarine service of the U.S. Navy. He worked in various positions in the travel industry while he attended the University of Hawaii, and then gradually climbed up the industry ladder of success. Joe is credited for starting the first dedicated condominium hotel in the state of Hawaii at the Fairway Villa in Waikiki in 1974. In 1979, he came to Maui as general manager of the Papakea Beach Resort. In 1980, he purchased the management contracts and formed Resort Pacifica, Inc., which managed the Papakea Association and Vacation Rental Program. And then in 1991, he formed Joseph Pluta and Associates, doing business as Maui Destination Marketing, to focus on diversification and starting the posturing of a structure to expand his business beyond Papakea, where he has maintained real estate and vacation rentals for clients for the past decades. He's served for many years there. And then in 1996, he was inducted to the University of Hawaii's Alumni Hall of Fame honors. He then helped start also the West Maui Taxpayers Association, which he still leads today, and is president of the West Maui Improvement Foundation. He is currently a member of the Realtors Association of Maui, has been a longtime member of Lahaina Rotary, and has served in many positions there, and volunteers on a number of committees in the community. Good morning, Joe. It is so great to have you on the show this morning.
Oh, good morning, Pam. I'm a little bit overwhelmed with my intro there. That's pretty awesome.
Well, you have done so many things. It's so glad to have you on the show again. I mean, you've been so involved in so many things that really, were foundational pieces that help shape Hawaii, that, in the visitor industry as well as in property management, real estate. You've been actively involved. And then you were the champion to create the West Maui Taxpayers Association. And can you give a brief overview? We've long talked about how many people didn't realize. And of course, after the wildfires, the state woke up and realized how Lahaina was a crown jewel, not only for Maui County, but for the state as well. But you've been a championing this and talking about how important West Maui is to our state. Can you share a little bit about that impetus to create the West Maui Taxpayers Maui Taxpayers Association?
Thank you, Pam. Yeah. Well, when I came here, I saw that it was very evident that West Maui was not being a recipient of a lot of infrastructural needs that it needed. It needed more schools. It needed another fire station. It needed another ambulance station. It needed improved roadways. I mean, the list just kept on going, and I was trying to figure out to myself, how come when West Maui is the most important financial contributor to the county and state and all of Maui County, yet it gets back little or nothing. So somebody's got to do something, and everybody agrees with that, but nobody do. So I started the West Maui Taxpayers Association, and to represent the public here, because everybody's so busy just trying to stay alive. Many people, ever since I've been here, I've been living from paycheck to paycheck and struggling around because it's so darn expensive. Everything is, and the convenience. Because that's why people take the trip from West Maui to go to the other side to Costco to try to save money. And, it's just, so anyway, to represent the collective interest. So we built a fire station over 30 years ago in Napili to improve that. We got the roadway built. We got the Lahaina Aquatic Center built. We got the Lahaina Senior Center built. We started the Lahaina Bypass Project. And we did the Lahaina Skate Park project. We've straightened out S-turns, Oahu Beach, made that safe, and turned in another nice little beach there. I mean, there's so many things that we've done. The list goes on and on and on, and so many people don't know. But they can go to our website, westmaui.org, and westmaui.org describes all these things. And then we formed the West Maui Improvement Foundation in order to finance the Napili Fire and Ambulance Station, because people tend to donate more generously when there's a 501c3 nonprofit charity to contribute to, and that's what the West Maui Improvement Foundation is. The West Maui Taxpayers is a lobbyist organization, a 501c4, and it's not the same qualification for tax deductions unless you have a business relationship with us, which many people do. I mean, the things that we do to help people are directly connected to their business and welfare, and therefore they can claim those kind of donations as tax deductions. But the major donations we were looking for to build fire stations in the hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions, people were reluctant unless there was a designated IRS letter from the charity status, which we've got, of course, back over 30 years ago.
Which is awesome.
And now we're building the Olawalo fire stations because nothing's the same here, Pam. Everybody knows. You drive through Lahaina, and it's just every time I drive through Lahaina, I have to hold back the tears. I mean, it's incredible how I feel because I'm such an emotional attachment to the people and to the city and to the culture and to everything that was here. What used to be and what is now is night and day difference, and people are still reeling from the shock of that and trying to get over it. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to take more time.
Anyway. And you were personally devastated by this, and have gone through so much as you've recovered. But I want to also share that as you were talking about the foundation and helps to raise funds with the fire station. You and West Maui Taxpayers Association members, had a plan on an additional fire station. You were warning people, especially after the 2018 fire, that you believed that the fire could jump under certain conditions over to Lahaina, and you were warning administrations that this was a possibility. So can you tell us a little bit about that and where we're at today on the West Maui Fire Station that you've been working on? I know many said, there were reports, again, any additional fire station, in my opinion, helps with additional capacity. I know there were reports that, even if we had that, it wouldn't have stopped what happened in Lahaina. And I guess that will be debated for years, maybe. But can you tell us, again, you've still championed on, and especially so given what has happened now, to bring another West Maui fire station to bear. Can you tell us where you're at with that effort?
Thank you so much, Pam. That's it's great how you can kind of capsulize and wrap up things like that. That's beautiful. We were in the mayor's office, Rick Nava and I, and Joe Park, two of my board members on the West Maui Taxpayers, and we told Mayor Victorino and Herman Ndaya, his safety manager, that we'd been working on a safety and emergency evacuation plan for Lahaina, didn't have one, and we needed their help and cooperation, which they were giving reluctantly. Herman said that we had it all handled. Mr. Ndaya would not let us see the after-action report from the 2018 fires, but we finally got him to give it to us in his office, and he said we couldn't tell anybody anything in there because the liability of the county was tremendous, and he was afraid the county was going to get sued. So we had to keep everything confidential, which I said, that's ridiculous. We're not here to sue you. We're here to work together with you to improve the health and safety conditions that exist here that need to be rectified. What went right, what went wrong, and what can we do to make it changes so that what went wrong won't happen again. And one of the things we need desperately is another fire station. And we got the landowner in Olowalu to donate land for a fire station after we took the fire chief and his battalion chief on a tour of the Olowalu area where we believe there would be needed. There's over 750 homes in that area that are fire protection class 10, or the highest risk ratio there is to get property insurance because of their distance away from the fire station. And that's where fires were originating. They were all originating there and going towards Lahaina, which used to be protected by thousands of acres of sugarcane. Wet sugarcane protected Lahaina for over 20 or for 40, 50 years. And that went away over 20 years ago. And now it's brush and combustible materials and unkept and dry and perfect fuel for fires that were all originating in that Olowalu area and then going towards Lahaina. And this time, instead of being stopped by sugarcane, we're going all the way to and burning up houses and everything. In 2018, if it would have crossed the Lahaina Luna Road, we'd have been lost Lahaina again, but it didn't. For some miraculous reason, it stopped right at Lahaina Luna Road. And thank God. But we wanted to get another fire station, more prevention measures in place. Let's get some safety precautions of what's the originating things that went right that the county had in place and what went wrong and what can we do to make things better. But we were not getting that cooperation at all from Mr. Ndaya at that time. And I think Mayor Victorino was just relying upon what Herman said they had it all covered. Well, you saw he didn't have it covered. We lost Lahaina town just like we said it would happen. And so anyway, rather than complain, and people complain, it's easy to complain. Oh gosh, it's so easy to complain, but to put action in place to do something about it. All right, don't just complain about it, fix it, do something. And that's what we do. We go fix it and do something. And that's what we're doing now. And Olowalu, we got all the money. Finally, after 3.5, almost 4 years of trying to raise money, we got it, all the funds we need currently. We just got hit with another $211,000 assessment for steel import from Canada because of the tariff situation. So that added, but fortunately we got that covered. So we are ready and we're in the process. We've submitted to the County of Maui our plans for building and plans for land use, and they're in the county map system right now. We have a temporary delay while the State of Hawaii Health Preservation Division is looking at our archaeological monitoring program, or called the AMP, that we have to have in place before they will continue to let the permit process proceed. They put basically a temporary hold on our permit process until they review the AMP plan, which we've submitted to them, and we're anxiously awaiting them to review that and approve that so we can move on and with our permit process. The county has promised us an expedited processing, but if the state overrides the county's authority by putting a block on us right now, we're right now in limbo. We're in a purgatory.
Sounds like we need to call the governor.
Yeah. Well, if for some reason the State of Hawaii Health Preservation Division doesn't review our AMP that we've submitted to them and let us proceed, well, then we will. We'll have to give the governor. And I've got his personal cell phone number to call. He says, only call me in emergency. Well, it's not emergency yet, but if we don't get a fast processing by the State Health Preservation Division, then I will call him and ask if he can put some pressure and leverage on them to get going. You know, we're not trying to avoid anything.
I think we're in a state of emergency right now, Joe. We don't have water on the we're having water issues on the west side, and we've got dry brush.
Pam, I've lived here now for 48 years, and the more you know, the scarier it gets about that situation. It's like all these things were preventable, knowable, and doable. What it really comes down to, Pam, is that the major landowners that were really taking care of Maui Land and Pineapple, run by Colin Cameron and his family, and Pioneer Mill Company that was run by AMFAC, a local company who was preserving and putting money back into the county and the state and their properties and helping the community.
Yeah.
When they sold to other buyers like Steve Case and AOL, Maui Land and Pineapple collapsed and went to hell. And same with Kaanapali Land Management. It's just with management by Mainland Corporation. It has no intention whatsoever to invest and make Maui better. They just want to sell and get out. Our over-regulation and controls of stopping and objecting against anything that wants to be done here is notorious, and we're the victims of our own governmental blinders of not seeing the reality of their regulations and restrictions. And instead of working together with people, saying, how can we help you invest in us and make things better here for you? They say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. And here's all the reasons why you can't do any of those things. Well, the water situation is the same way. It goes back. Everybody knows we had so much water here, and we still do. It got so much, but the failure to maintain, preserve the irrigation system, as well as reservoirs and other systems that were previously maintained well by prior landowners of Colin Cameron's family and AMFAC, were completely ignored. And what happens when you ignore maintenance? Well, you can have a Mercedes, but if you don't change the oil, your Toyota will run better if you change the oil. You forgot to change the oil.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. Yeah, that's a really great analogy. Yeah. Maintenance is really key. Well, again, I mean, we're just seeing such crazy such crazy times and challenges. And again, I remember.
Our government has the power, Pam. The thing that the West Maui taxpayers is trying to convince our government is the solution as well as right now they're the problem. They got to stop being the problem and start being the solution, which they also have the power to be. And they can if they work together with. And that's what we hope, that our collaboration with the county and the fire department and giving this Olawalo Fire Station as a gift to the county to staff and operate is going to inspire more public-private partnerships. Let's work together. We need to work together with these major landowners and developers to create housing, to create water, to do all these things that everybody's been trying to do for the longest time and have just been told nothing but no's and why they cannot do those things. The government's got to get out of the way and say, how can we help you? And the things that are blocking you right now, let's look at those things carefully and see if they should be suspended or removed entirely and reworked. Because at the time all these regulations and ordinances and conditions came up, there was good reasons for it. Well, that time is gone, all right? Laws need to be changed. Ordinances need to be changed. Procedures need to be changed. All kinds of laws need to be changed.
Yeah, and as you point out, the county was able to achieve more when they had public-private partnerships. And we keep hearing, that the county is so understaffed. They have so many positions open, and things worked better when we had public-private partnerships.
You just hit it right on the head, right there. And in the typical business, like I've been in business in Hawaii now for 57 years, and I've had all kinds of employment problems and staffing problems and issues. But what we do is whatever we have to do, including pay or contracting out services to get the job done. You got to solve the problem. And if your answer to why you can't solve the problem, because we don't have staff, well, then contract out. Do a public-private partnership for temporary to solve the problem. And then, that goes away. But you don't say, well, the problem is going to continue because we don't have staff. That's the most frustrating problem I've ever. I hear that all the time. Oh, I know, we do
too, but it's not reasonable, and we have to get beyond it because we have to find ways to, as you said, we have to push forward. Otherwise, we're not making progress, and things keep happening.
Yeah, the lack of staff is the absolute worst situation that you can say when there's no absence of the financial resources that you have to contract out and to get those problems solved. It's just like, it's a night and day difference. It's like, where is the business sense of operating our state? And when we attack tourism and the main income producer to the state because we're so angry, I understand the anger and I understand the pain. I understand the drama because I lost everything. I lost my home of 50 years of jewels and art and treasures and things, everything imaginable I had, all went in 24 hours. I lost everything. I only had a pair of shorts. That's all I had left in my life was a pair of shorts. And no shoes, no shirt, nothing. And then my business was burned down too. All the safeguards I had to guard my precious things backed up electronically and thumb drives and disk and all that stuff and computers was all burned up in the fire.
You've gone through so much.
But I'm not giving up. I don't give up. I love this place. And everybody, what you were saying earlier is about Lahaina. Lahaina is got a magic and a beauty, and it's an international treasure for the state of Hawaii. Lahaina is, and that's the outpouring of love for Lahaina and its people is because of the people in Lahaina and the culture and the just everything about how significant Lahaina was. People didn't come to the state of Hawaii without coming to. If they came to Maui, then they always came to Lahaina. Well,
Yeah.
they don't anymore, and they haven't for quite some time, and it's just devastating. It's going to take a lot of effort, but we got to get more public-private partnerships. We got to get the county and the state governments working together with business and saying, how can we make things better and work for you so you can be profitable and we can make money, tax money and revenues, and have our people and residents employed and happy and able to afford the high cost of living in this beautiful state.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's jump to another issue because I know this is something that you folks have also been working on as well. Let's talk about Bill 9, which is commonly referred as the bill to phase out short-term condominium rentals. As a longtime Lahaina resident, businessman, a realtor, Lahaina champion, and leader of the West Maui Taxpayers Association. What are your thoughts on Bill 9 as this comes up?
Well, Pamela, for those of you, I'll try to make it real quick historical recap. When I came to Maui, there's a lot of apartment zone properties from the Papakea, where I was a general manager, all the way to Kapalua down the road, and they were operating transient rental vacations as well as homeowners who live there full time, and some long-term rentals as well, but not many, mostly short-term, because it was very expensive. And through short-term rentals, in the apartment zoning ordinance, when you look under permitted uses, every time there's a zoning, there's permitted uses within zoning. Well, one of the permitted uses within apartment zoning was motel use. And motel use allows vacation rentals. So the county changed the law to take out motel use as a permitted use within the apartment zoning. That was done many years ago. They took that out. But that doesn't invalidate the fact that people invested and bought and did things with that permitted use. So the so-called Minatoya list came up. If these apartment zone properties had front desks and bell service, they could still continue to operate under the motel use on a grandfathered basis. Bill 9 is an emotional reaction, which I understand completely, as a way that there's so many outspoken, vocal antagonists and people who are so angry about so many things. Many are legitimate, and there's not enough debate about them, other than the fact that let's attack. We get revenge, something. So what is the immediate solution? Well, in a fantasy world, we can take 7,000 units that are vacation rentals and turn them into long-term. That solves our housing problem. Oh, yeah, that sounds fantastic in fantasy. But in reality, the law is the law is the law. You got to deal with until the law allowed these things, that things were done. I mean, it's like Bill 9 is so flawed. It's so flawed. In the county, it's just because I have to hire more lawyers paid for by the taxpayers. We're going to pay all these lawyers to defend all the lawsuits that they're ultimately going to lose, and it's going to cost us more. And the taxpayers get to pay for all that foolishness. Not only that, all these businesses that were getting the benefits of the tourists coming to there has all gone away. And they don't know what to do. People leaving the island is what they're doing. They're leaving Maui, they're leaving the island, and going elsewhere. And that's a shame. It's such a shame. It really is. So we got to change the thinking. Our thinking's got to change. We got to change our thinking and get proactively working together, like what we're trying to do with our West Maui Olawala Fire Station. More public-private partnerships. Every time you have a staffing problem, county, go contract that service out and get the job done. Don't say, well, we do this, but we don't have the staff. That just doesn't work. And it doesn't work in any business. Businesses don't do that. Businesses do what they have to do to keep the lights on and the business running. And if that means contracting out, that's what they do. Hotels have done that for the longest time as things got more and more challenging. Yeah, I mean, how many hotels do you go to now that the restaurants aren't managed by the hotel? They're contracted out to some other private venture because they couldn't afford all the employees that they had in the restaurant. So the contracting out for services that are needed and necessary is not a new phenomenon. It's got to be just brought into the county and state operational management.
Right. And in and of itself helps with economic development, right?
Oh, of course. Oh, tremendously.
But nobody looks at it as an economic development driver. In addition to getting more things done quickly, right? You're supporting other businesses as well.
I want everybody that's in government decision maker to go back and take a basic business 101 class and look at the fundamental concepts of what a business is and how you run a business, because that's what they're doing. They're running our business, the county and the state, in the wrong way. And they've got to change laws. They got to work together, public-private partnerships. Instead of saying no, they got to say, how can we help you?
Right.
And let's work together. Let's work together. It's time to unite. We're so much powerful, as everybody knows. When you're united together, you're stronger. And there's so many reasons to be mad and angry. There is legitimate reasons. But we got to set that aside. Peace and love. Peace and love. Love has always been the answer, and we got to work together. Reality is reality. Let's work together and do the best we can with the way the conditions are and make things better together. Together, we're powerful. And fragmented, we're not. And Bill 9 has fragmented the industry. It's the most ridiculous bill I've ever seen. And I was in almost unbelief that something like that could be even seriously considered as something that needs to have all. And I wouldn't doubt if that tremendous stress didn't contribute to Tasha's demise, the poor lady, having to deal with that in her committees and all the anger and testimonies of people lashing out. Why are they lashing out? We got to work together. We got to love each other and work together. We can't do this attacking and look at the reality. Reality's got to come into the picture, and balance has got to come into the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will quickly share, since you brought that up, because tomorrow is an amazing memorial for council member Tasha Kama. And of course, her first name is Natalie. But most of us, including me, know her. Have always known her really as Tasha. But she's got a celebration of life tomorrow, November 19th, at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center at 9 a.m. Is when public visitation begins, and the service will begin at 10:30. So it is open to the public. Lunch will follow at the Yokauchi Pavilion and Courtyard. So I'm glad you brought her up, because, she was a champion for housing for the people, and she was a champion for balanced solutions and looking at things correctly and really identifying the core of the problem and focusing on that and working on that, as you and I know. And I consider her a dear friend. The loss was very great for me because we'd have a lot of meetings, and she worked tirelessly up till the end to find, literally at the final hours of her life was working to find a replacement for her. So we are actually championing Kawanoi Vatangan. Not only is he a Hawaiian leader that she trusted and wanted to see engaged and involved. Great service.
Listen, I hope that all your listeners that are listening right now will respect the fact of who she recommended to be her successor in her dying wishes.
Yeah.
Because
I hope so too.
That is, come on, it's like respect this woman. She, as much as she loved Maui and committed her life to making Maui better, you think that she was going to suggest some irresponsible person to take her place? Hell no. She everybody who ever knew her and talked with her loved her and knew how genuine and real she was about life and its difficulties and problems, and wanting to work together with peace and love, and fairness, and she's just such a champion. So she'll be sorely missed. But the county council, by her example, I would hope, of the kind of woman she was, will change the way it's been posturing. The vision that we have in the council of division, it's not a united county council. There's serious division there, and this replacement, I guess, Tasha, would be critical if to keep either one division stronger than the other, and that's a scary thing right there too. But honoring Tasha's wishes, I hope and pray will be done. She was a wonderful woman.
I agree. I hope so too. I really agree. It's, I will tell you, and those who were around her, when she was hospitalized and working on wanting to find the right champion to carry Maui forward, and who would be somebody who would be respected and balanced and lead in the way that she thought was so important, with, thoughtful purpose and that peace and love and uniting people, and who had the skill set. Watching her, I've worked with a lot of people, and I've worked with a lot of people that I've gotten to see in their final hours. But to see her in her final hours put the community, with all she was going through, put the community first and look for the champion to be the person she felt would be the best person to carry forward with the critical housing mission and with the right heart and spirit. I really hope people unite around Kalanui, because this was, imagine, literally on your final day and your final hours, still working on that. When you had so many other things going on, and so many family and friends who wanted to be with you and see you. That's really literally what she was doing.
Inspiration, very inspirational, and I agree with you. I hope your listeners also agree. And we'll find out, I guess, sooner or later. This Bill 9 keeps getting kicked down the road. I don't know when or if it's ever going to come up for actual reading, because it is so flawed and so ridiculous. To see the light of day in reality it should be just thrown away, completely discarded as non-feasible. A great idea that is not subject to reality. It's unrealistic, and it can't be done.
It's coming up December 1st.
Yeah.
So they hope to have the process in place with the ninth person in position, and I hope that that's going to happen, because timing is really short. But Bill 9 is scheduled for December 1st.
Yeah. So, I wonder how many people who are really strong supporters of Bill 9 have looked into the bill itself and read the language and look what it does. Because what it does is, number one, completely illegal. Number two, economic destruction for sure. And there's not the illusion of a family wanting to live in a condominium that's got one parking stall and a small closet designed for somebody who's going to stay a week or two to keep their clothes in, and a limited amount of space. And for that's not reality here. They need those things weren't. None of those condominiums were designed for a long-term living. They were designed for, vacationers going to be here a week. That's it, or 2 weeks, and that's it. There's a family will not be able to live there. They will not be able to live there. It's unworkable. It doesn't compute. And the costs, most people who've got condominiums now, because of the tremendous costs now and insurance, are selling their condominiums because they can't. There's increases like 5,000% maintenance fee increases, and It's like,
No, I know.
so
We're
many
going to
people
have
have left.
to, we're going to have to wrap it up because I do have to move on to another guest. But no, you're absolutely right. And it's going to come up. And as because the originally planned survey never happened, to better understand it, we've got a housing survey that we did. And you're right. It just doesn't align with people's needs and what they can afford to pay. So it's going to be a huge problem. But it is coming up December 1st. So for those of you who are passionate about this issue, and really everybody's passionate about this issue, we do want housing. We just need to build housing. Because
do you know how many developers would be so excited to hear the county wanting to work together with them to allow to solve that problem and help with the infrastructure and the permitting and get the process moving? I mean, we've got thousands of units right now at Pluta that can't be open. They're ready to be built up, the walls up, but they won't. The water problem, they're saying they won't give them the right to use the wells that they forced them to drill that they previously had the right to use. They took that away. They took it away from them, saying that now they couldn't. So they can't provide these thousands of units. So what does the developer want to do? He's going crazy. He's ready to sell that whole project like everybody. They get so frustrated with the inability to have the state and county work together with them to solve the problem that we need. They leave and they.
No, I'm so sorry. I hear you. We've got to start working with the state and county. I'm so sorry. We've got another guest waiting, so we're going to have to wrap this up. But I thank you so much for being on the show this morning. I love you dearly, and thank you for all the work you do. And we're rooting for you on that West Maui fire station. We're really rooting. And if we can be of service, please don't hesitate to call.
Thank you so much, Pam. God bless you, and aloha for now.
God bless you, and aloha for now. Thank you. All right. Well, I would love to bring our next guest on. There's so many important issues, and we're so passionate about talking about all of these things, which are critical to Maui. And I'm so grateful to Joe for being on. And I'm so thrilled that we can have an amazing and dynamic dentist, Dr. Sonia Gupta, who is on Maui as a dentist and serving in that capacity. But she was looking for natural therapeutic oral care products because she had a little one, her son. He's not so little anymore. But, she was looking and tried every product on the market and could not find anything that she felt was safe, clean, and scientifically proven to strengthen enamel. That is, she shares, right, that, what she calls virgin teeth, so your teeth are superior to any filling, crown, veneer, or implant. In other words, it's a drill-free way of having the perfect smile. So she started AlohaBrite, and that was to create a plastic-free, we have to ask her about that, plastic-free oral care routine, because who thinks about plastic in your oral care routine? That was safe and effective with products that preserve the integrity of our virgin teeth. And I would love to welcome Dr. Sonia Gupta with us. Sonia, are you on?
I'm here, Pam. Aloha. Good morning.
Aloha and good morning. So great to have you on the show this morning. Tell us a little bit, I mentioned a little bit about sort of what inspired your company, but tell us a little bit more about that and tell us a little bit about plastic free. Nobody thinks about plastic in their dental care.
Yes, absolutely. Well, first of all, mahalo, Pam, for inviting me and believing in me all these years and keeping us going with what we're doing. And so grateful it's just an honor to be talking to you this morning.
It is my honor and pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, never thought we'd be here. So anyways, so I just remember, I think the first time it started was when a friend told me that my son's diaper when he was born was going to outlive him. And it was just a reality check for me. I was, of course, trying to be more eco-friendly, but I think that statement changed my world. And I had been making my own toothpaste since I was a teenager because I couldn't use all the stuff in plastic tubes with fillers because I'd break out in canker sores, aphthous ulcers, they're called. Anyways, but when my son was born, I was just on a mission to create something clean for him. I wanted clean baby wipes. I started with that. I started making my own baby wipes that were plastic-free, chemical-free. Everything I found on the market, I didn't realize had lines of plastic in it. Same in our dental office. I didn't realize the gauze that we use. I thought it was 100% cotton, but it's actually lined with plastic. And then you get to dental tubes. And of course, it's a tube of toothpaste. But not only that, the plastic tube, to squeeze anything out of a tube. Like imagine squeezing your peanut butter out of a tube, your coffee out of a tube, your yogurt out of a tube, just putting things into a tube. You have to add a lot of fillers and other ingredients, additives, to make it squeeze out so beautifully that are not good for our health. So I was just like, why did we end up with toothpaste in a tube? Like in Africa, where my parents grew up in India, they brushed with antiseptic twigs of trees that were natural without all this plastic. And I think over time, dentistry has just become a whole marketing frenzy to make it simpler, faster, but not better. And so, yeah, when he was born, I just wanted something cleaner, better. The swipes, those little gauze pieces that I use, I add the hydroxyapatite to it. It's an alternative fluoride that's biocompatible, meaning same as what's in our body, in our teeth and our bones. So I started cleaning his teeth with that because he had these cute little baby teeth. I didn't want to use the single pack plastic pouch of wipes that was made for his teeth that I found on the market. So I started making it myself. That evolved into toothpaste, being plastic free, out of a tube, without all the fillers. It's not just the plastic, it's the fillers that are added that I think are good. And just if you Google every single ingredient in your tube of toothpaste, you'll start becoming aware of what's in it and why it's not good for us. And then floss. You know, I talk to a lot of my clients about they're so excited to have a stainless steel water bottle and avoid the plastic water bottle. I said, well, what about your floss? That's right by your gingiva, your gum, which has direct access to your bloodstream. And have you ever thought about getting the plastic out of your gums and out of your bloodstream, out of your mouth? And so I'm trying to help create positive change around that too. So it's not just water bottles and to-go containers, but also things that we use in our mouth, which has much more access to our bloodstream and our circulation. You know, you look at your tongue, it's pink. You look at your gums, they're pink. Why? Because it's all great blood supply. You put medicine under your tongue because it can absorb into your bloodstream, right? So anything we put into our mouth has direct access to the rest of our body and our bloodstream, and especially for our babies, for our little ones. I think it's so important to think about what we're using for their oral care.
Absolutely. I think this is a phenomenal education because, again, you know, it's well, in some of these longstanding companies, you know, that you go back to some of these companies who stood the test of time in the dental market that you think are wholesome companies and they're widely known, and you just don't even think about all of these different avenues. And I'm so glad that you are, because again, and educating us, you know, on, I mean, just the discussion you just had on, you know, your tongue absorbs everything. It's in your mouth, and this is quick access to everything that flows through your bloodstream in your body. I've never even looked at it that way.
Yeah, we can run so many tests with just saliva. There's so many biomarkers in our saliva. Everything is in our saliva. Our saliva is incredible. So we have to really preserve that clean, nice saliva. We're really into clean drinking water, avoiding plastic bottles, avoiding bad water, using filters or, you know, all these filtration systems. But really when it comes down to it, our toothpaste, our toothbrush, all these things we're putting in our mouth every day, that really gets scrubbed into your teeth and your gums. So there's so many great alternatives to that where we can recreate dentistry and oral care in a better way. And for me, it's impacted my office and avoiding all the single-use plastic to the extent possible. Like in the hospital, there's so much plastic, right? And it's a good thing. It does keep us safe, protect us. But there's ways of minimizing the waste also. And, you know, with the floss, it's such a challenge because, I mean, when I talk to my patients and my clients, they say, but sometimes it breaks. I said, well, if it doesn't break ever, there's probably plastic or bioplastic or something that's not good in it. You know, you kind of want to see break, once you get, I have to use 2 pieces to get through my mouth, but that's how I know it is clean, biodegradable, and it's quite a journey. My dad is a chemical engineer, so he helped me formulate everything, and that's been amazing and incredible to work with him. And with my son, we draw out the molecules and do the science together. So it's been really hard, but it's also been a great learning process for me and my whole family, and brought us together.
I can see that's what keeps you very motivated. It's awesome. So we've got a couple minutes, literally I'm getting a countdown of about 2.5 minutes, but I'd love for you to share what you're you've been developing other products, how you're moving forward with this company, and we want to make sure everybody knows how they can reach out to you and find out more about your amazing products. But you've diversified your line considerably.
Yeah. Pam, my head is filled with 100 ideas every day. I want to make something new. So I have to really tame myself to focus on what we have to really perfect it, because my goal is to have every client 100% satisfied, which is really difficult. But we have our website, AlohaBrite, Bright spelled like Rainbow Bright, Brite. And then we're at the Wailea Village Farmers Market Tuesday mornings and Upcountry Makawao Market Saturday mornings. And Pam, Amber, and Maya's amazing Made in Maui County Festival that we just...
Thank you. We love it. Was the show good for you this year?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, we met more people. We're at the Maui Ocean Center. We sell the Four Seasons. They sell it. Just more people that are interested in carrying the product in their hotels and stores, which is just such an honor. I just loved it. And met so many great friends. Everywhere I go, people tell me, oh, we saw you at the Made in Maui. You were dressed as a tooth fairy.
Yeah.
So that's fun. It's just fun. You guys make it so great for us. I'm so grateful.
Oh, well, we're grateful for you, and we're grateful for your amazing products. You have created such a phenomenal line that's healthier for us, and I really appreciate the education this morning, because people can really see. And again, I would hope also those who care about our environment would be thrilled to be carrying your products. It's so aligned with the mission of so many others on island. So, well, I guess that's our role, and it's time. So, Sonia, thank you for joining us. Please, everybody, visit her website at AlohaBrite.com. Amazing dental products, and you're going to cherish them. And it's been a fast-paced show. I hope you all learned something today. Please pay attention to Bill 9 and ring in. It's coming up on December 1st, and we're still celebrating Tasha. Blessings and aloha to all. We hope you have a wonderful week. Join us again next Tuesday. Ahoy ho.